According to the Bureau of Justice statistics, black women are 4 times more likely than their white peers to be killed in a relationship by their partner. In Dallas County, they say that the most likely type of person to be killed by a romantic partner is a black woman between the ages of 20 and 29, like Delashon, who was shot by her boyfriend. And it takes me back to 1990, July 31st, 1991, when I was ejected through a window sill on the Deegan Expressway in my city after being forced and dragged into a car by this low-level malignant narcissist. You know, the accident was so bad that I didn't even know that I was in an accident. That is the kind of head trauma that I suffered when I was finally taken off the sedation and allowed to wake up 3 days later at about August 3rd. I was lucky, blessed. I don't know. I have no idea how I would be ejected through a window sill at that speed onto the highway. I could only imagine, because when I woke up, the only thing I felt was the pain in my back and my lower body, but I was tied down with a stray jacket because I guess they might have anticipated the pain through the x-rays and MRIs. But lucky enough, the way that I bounced on the concrete, there wasn't anything broken. Later, when I was allowed to stand up, finally, I was with a relative who was visiting when they allowed me to stand up and go to the mirror, and everyone was dead silent in the hospital room, because I guess they didn't know how I was going to respond. I didn't know yet that my hair was shaved off and that I had a huge gaping hole in the back of my head. So this is what happened. From the glass, the doctor was never really able to set it straight about some of the injuries and cuts and glass that was in my body. I think I remember him telling me, you know, this is all just a part of that accident, and we can't tell you exactly what cut what or how it happened, but you're alive and it's amazing. So while we tend to worship and admire a lot of these men for these not so incredible feats that they did throughout the 80s and 90s of Harlem, the truth is, a lot of these people are destroyers and takers, and they are after your daughters, your young daughters. They are ruining your daughters. How many times have your parents, or even you, if you're an adult of a black female child, advised her of this statistic on her way out the door? How many young black women know that they are more likely to end up in a relationship with a violent, malignant narcissist who might try to take their lives? If there's anything that I can do today, is to make that known. Is to let these women know that that drug dealer on the corner, or just whatever that person is doing to flash in front of you or to get your attention, is not so great. That people like this, they come into the community and they do build. Yeah, they do build. But let me tell you, there's 2 ways to build. You can go from the ground up and build your building higher than all the other buildings. Or you can come in and crush everything and build a building that is now going to be higher than everything else because you knocked everything down. And this is how narcissistic drug dealers behave. This is how they behave in their own communities. And people are so asleep and unconscious that they don't realize that these people who come out on Thanksgiving and give out turkeys and bullshit like that, give out coats and jackets and clothes, are actually the same people that are ruining the community, that are keeping your parents strung out on cocaine or dope or whatever it is. This is what's happening. And so we have to be more realistic here. We have to stop pretending that, you know, this is the only way out for us. You know, some of the most talented people in the universe are always looking for an excuse to speed up their cash flow. Always looking for an excuse not to sit still, take their time, and be creative. They want to have instant gratification. And if you get into a relationship with one who happens to be the type of person who takes his or her anger out on a partner in a domestic relationship, beware. Because this man nearly killed me many, many times before I began to adapt his way and lose total sight of what I was doing and any sense of who I was. But through the grace of God, I would get out of this relationship. And so this series is not going to be a series of praise for these kind of people or their women or some of the known women in this particular dynamic that I will be discussing. There's two kind of women out there that date drug dealers. There are women who absolutely, seriously, and honestly do not know what they're getting themselves into. They're being preyed upon. And then there are the women who prey upon drug dealers because they absolutely do not care about anything else but themselves. They sleep with everybody and anybody because they're looking for status and money. And throughout my series, you'll begin to learn the difference. None of us are victims, but some of us are targets. And in a lot of instances, these women target drug dealers. And they're just as narcissistic. So, if you like this video and you think you'll be interested in what I have to say over the next year, subscribe. Prove it by subscribing. If you think someone else would like this video and want to hear more about this underground life from a female perspective, share this video. And please read the description to learn more about what I offer over at adreamlife.com. Love and light.